Hello, this is Cuberized, and welcome to my Craftoria Let's Play. I have spread out my machines a little bit, taking advantage of the wall a little bit more, and I have recently added a salvaging table from Apotheosis, and I will explain right now what that actually does. So I've got this hooked up so I can feed in from the top, and it'll throw into this barrel at the bottom. What you can do, and let me actually go get a simple thing here. So if you have, say, leather, and let's take something that isn't damaged, but something we're not gonna use. Okay, so this has cursive binding on it. We're not gonna use it. I don't have an uncrafting table. I can put this on a cutting board and hit it with a pair of shears, I believe. Yes, with shears, and I get one leather. If I run it through a salvaging table, I get from 1 to 3 leather. So I'm going to do that. Make sure that's empty, and I will just put it in here. This does not take power. And I got one leather. So I didn't gain anything, but I didn't lose anything either. So you can also do this with wooden tools. If you have anything, and actually let me, for a moment, stick all this stuff in here. Okay, so if you have any stone tools or wooden tools, especially if they have a gray name, which means that they're Apotheosis or green or blue. I think I have a blue one in here somewhere. I've got some green. But there's different, this is lacerating and this is lacerating, but because of the gems that were used to add the different components, the names are different colors. Gray is the lowest level. And when you look at the gems, and let me actually go take a look at some Apotheosis gems here. And if you don't know this trick, if you do the @ symbol and the mod, and you don't have to spell the whole mod out, you can actually see everything that you have from the mod in your inventory or in, was it EMI? Is that what this is? So when you're looking at gems, and I'm going to use these 3 because they're right next to each other, cracked is gray, and it is the lowest level. So if you take a look at, say, putting it on a spell book, it says plus 4% fire spell power. When you go up to the next level, it's green named. It's 8% instead of 4%. And it's a chipped and not a cracked. And then when you go to flawed, it's blue, and it's now 12%. So everything increases up a certain amount. Like this has 0.25 fire magic resistance, this goes up to 5%, and this goes up to 10%. So the better the gem, the better the effects. But the effects themselves, what it does is the same, it's just how good it is. Depends on the gem. So, and there's, it starts with cracked, and that's gray. So when you're looking at these, most of these stone tools are gray. So this is all, let me actually, I said most of them are gray. So if I take, let's see, gray, 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 gray. Yeah, these are all gray. I'm going to plop all these in. And if there's any left in here, well, we'll get to that in a second. So they've all gone through here, and they're now down here. So I get 5 cobblestone back and some scrap metal. So this is common, and this is stuff you get with stone tools. So I can actually do, again, and I'm going to throw these in. These actually won't do anything because they're not apotheosis. But if you have any stone tools or any bows, crossbows, you can throw them all in. Anything that's... Oh, it's going to go through. I'm trying to clear out my inventory over there because it's full. So anything that stays in the item hopper, if you're using a hopper, is not apotheosis. Apotheosic? Apotheotic? Yeah, something. It isn't part of that. It's just a plain vanilla item. So if I had a plain vanilla shovel, yeah, it shouldn't go through. And then and I get some fabric here. So this is a possibility. And there's more cobblestone, and there's more of that. So you're going to get a whole bunch of things when you start to do this. You can do this with leather as well. And I already said that. You can actually do this with any item that has... Let's see here. Let's see, this is a vanilla gold sword. Yeah, this is a cursed shovel. And this is a regular shovel. So let's take a look at these. Oops. And I'm going to go right into this. So if I put this in, I'm going to get 0 to 1 gold ingot and some mysterious amount of 1 to 4 mysterious scrap metal. Okay? If I put this in, it's telling me I'm not going to get anything because it's so damaged it won't give me anything. So there's no point in running this through. Same with this. There's no point in running this through. Now, if I want to get something out of it, so let's take these. Let's do it's golden. So all the gold shovels I have, other than the ones in my inventory, are all fully... Let's do golden sword. So this I can have a chance to do something with. Okay. So I've got all the damaged shovels and all the damaged swords. So I already showed you that these aren't going to get me anything as is. And I don't care about the fact that it's cursed. But if I repair it, I might. I don't. It's probably not enough because this is only made with 1. Yeah, it's still not going to get me anything. But let's do that with a sword. Let's see, that's about... Yeah, so that's a fully repaired sword. So if I put this in there, I will get... And again, I still may get nothing out of it, but I may get 1 gold ingot. And, you know, if you're not going to use the sword, it's something you can try. And I can actually, now that I've done that, let me just toss it in up here and have it automatically go through, and we got a gold ingot. So if you're finding yourself with a lot of items that are, you know, damaged, and you've picked them up rather than not pick them up at all, repairing this, it isn't fully repaired. So if I check, I'm not going to get anything. So again, this works well. Now, if you go into something even, you know, more like armor. So let's try golden chest. sorry, needed space. So here's a bunch of really damaged and cursed chess pieces, which I would never wear, and yeah. That's cursed. And there's another one. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of gold chess pieces. A lot of them are cursed, and they're all damaged to some extent. These are not quite so damaged, so let's see if I can... that probably will... It almost makes a complete one. And let's see if I can get it there. Not quite. Not quite. Now let's just do this. Okay. So, with stuff that... Now this is... Take a look at it. This is not apotheosis. Okay? But you can still use the salvaging table, and you can get... You're guaranteed at least one. You could get 3. Now, if you put it in here manually, you have to hit the salvage items button. If you are just dropping in and hoping for the best, I just got 1, but it's 1. It takes a little effort to merge these things together. But if you have a bunch, instead of just, throwing them in the trash, this is something that you can do with them, even if they're not apotheosis, even if they don't have the apotheosis gems, even if they're cursed. So just something to keep in mind. And yeah. So we can actually just process through all of these as well. And this is cursed. Again, nothing. At this point I'm using diamond stuff, so this is just stuff that's clogging up. Some of it's damaged, some of it isn't. I'm not even worried about it because it's all stone tools. But it was definitely clogging up my inventory over there. Everything has gone through the hopper. It's still draining down in here, so yeah, 47 scrap. Are we done? Yeah, we're done. There. That will fit much neater in here. Put my gold in. So if you're not picking them up, then you don't have to worry about this as far as managing your inventory, but just something to keep in mind. Next thing I wanted to talk about was I want to make a couple of things from Reliquary Reincarnations. If you are getting, so let's look at Reliquary. These are relics. IQ, I think that's how you spell it. Yes. So I'm getting these charm fragments in my mob spawner as a result of my mob spawner. So I want to do something with them. So let's get these out of my... So I have Piglin and Piglin Brute that I have at least 6 of. I also have this one, and let's just do... oh, not at, just... So you can see how many different kinds of fragments there are. There's a lot for anything that's out there, even things that are relatively rare. You know, there's a charm for them. Some of them you cannot make, like this one. So this is a deepling. This one you can't make, but if I look at, where I did just find the witch. There. Now the witch you can make. So if you have some witch and you want to make this charm, and you don't have 6 of these, then you can craft up what you need. So I will show you what to do with these. You need a piece of, well, one, you can make a spawn egg if you have 2 of them, and an egg. You can make the spawn egg for that. If you have 6 of them and a piece of leather and string, you can make this charm. And with this charm, piglin brutes will ignore the player. So you can literally go up and hit them with your sword and they will ignore you. So there's a few that are actually really handy to have. Enderman is a good one because when you're in the end, you can walk around and literally attack them all and they won't even engage you, even if you look at them. So they're going to ignore you completely. So let's make this one since we have what we need. So I've got that. And then we'll make this one. And I don't know if we can craft up more of these. No, you have to actually get them as a drop. But what we can do is we can look at, let's do the obvious ones, the common ones. So let's do creeper. I don't have to worry about necessarily because I have the slippers on that have them run away from me. But we can do, so there's a couple different kinds of skeleton. There's wild hunt, which we don't really want. Skeletal druid, which is actually a nice one to get, but I think it's one that has to drop, yes. Wither skeleton, we can craft if we have this. And I have enough of those. So I have 5 of these. I do not have what I need. Yeah, so I need wither skeletons to get more of those, but 5 is not bad. And then we're just regular skeleton. And then if I want to make it into a skeleton charm, it's this one. So if I look at this is what I want, the charm belt. What you can do with this, these actually, so when you have these, if you have an open belt slot, you can attach all these to a belt, and then wear the belt, which is very handy to do. And right now I do not need all of the, in fact, let's see what this is 4, and I think this one is up to 7, yeah. So I can take this off and still not worry, and I can make the belt. Let's go belt. Ah. Spaces count. So, yeah, I think oh no, I don't have the piglin. Come on. Oh, it's a pig charm. Ah. Okay. It's a pig, not piglin. Pig. So I have to kill pigs to make the belt. Huh. Alright, well. Well, if you don't want to do that, you can just have these. It just saves space if you have them. But yeah, yep. It's kind of nice. And again, you can do this with all kinds of things. So this is the one I wanted to do. Witches tend to be very, yeah. They can be difficult. But you can do this, as I said, with most common creatures. You can go ahead and craft up their corresponding charm. Charm fragments to then get their charms. So if I wanted a zombie, and the more common, this one you can't craft. Zombie charm, zombie charm. This one you can. Yeah, I think the difference is, not sure what the difference is. Zombie versus zombie? Weird. But you should be able to craft. Yeah, I've got enough of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, yeah. I could do creeper. Oh, these actually have different creepers. Oh, since there are so many, it's just not a standard creeper anymore. So there's all those creepers. But again, the other nice thing is you can get an egg from these. What else am I running into a lot of? Oh, spider. Spelling counts. Yes. So, spider charm fragments. That's easy enough to do. King spider I haven't seen. Hedge spider, that's twilight, and that you can't craft. Ice, wild cave, wild swarm, cave spider. Cave spider we can craft. And it needs, I don't know how many, yeah, I don't have any of those. Okay. but I can craft that. Oh, another one is a husk. Wild husk, wild horde. No, can't. Yeah. Oh well. But there we go. That's how to make them. Another thing from the same mod is, and I will get rid of this, is this called a hero's medallion. Well, let's do the coin of fortune first. So the coin of fortune is it's very much like a magnet. It pulls in items and experience, which is great. The other thing you can do is just an actual magnet. And yeah, it takes a... So this is a magnet. This does 5 blocks. This one, it doesn't say. This can be upgraded to this magnet, which does 11 blocks away. And this can be upgraded to the hero's medallion, which actually takes... let me pull it up here. Hero's medallion takes nebulous hearts you get from Enderman. So if you have the Enderman in your mob spawner, this is easy to get. If you have a witch in your mob spawner, this is easy to get. This we just crafted, and this is an Infernal Tear. This in and of itself is very cool to get. And again, you need a witch, you need a void tear, okay. A molten core you can get from blazes, which again, if you have that, or magma cube, either one in your spawner, these are easy to get. This is something we have to craft, which needs... Okay, so we need to craft one of these, and in fact, we're going to craft 3 of them. Well, 2 of them. And then we're going to craft... Now, again, this is all the stuff that... oh, I forget the void. And I just used my slime pearl. Oh. Okay. Okay, that ends the... I'm going to pause and go find some slime. Or things that drop slime. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm wearing my skeleton charm with all my other charms, and I'm standing right in front of a skeleton at night, and he's not attacking me. And he's still not attacking me. So there you go. That's how they work. And very handy. Definitely worth getting if you can. If you can get the enchantment on your weapon, that helps as well. And I'll be back. Okay, I got the slime pearls that I needed. I've also got a little slime. I have a spawner that is slime. Well, it's actually creeper riding slime. And I got that from... Let me actually go outside here just one moment. What's the easiest way? Let me do this. Just so I can show you the map. So you get that from a structure that is over here, this thing. And I found it in the swamp although I don't know. I don't know if it actually only resides in here. This is a cypress wetlands. This is swamp. But it's this building. It looks like a. It has a lot of stained glass in the front windows. And when you go in, it's a very large, expansive thing. It almost looks like a giant lives there because there's a large staircase going up that is actually several blocks between steps, and a lot of water pools and that type of thing. But there are slime spawners in here, and this is a great place to go grab some spawners and make use of them when you need them. I haven't needed slime too much until now. I've actually been doing the piglin brutes, and that's what all the cows are from here, that are all over here. They ride cows. So, and in fact, I think there's a whole bunch down there. Actually, there's a couple that slipped through, but there's a whole bunch of cows down there from the piglin brutes. And I think actually, since I'm here, let me... no, I don't have a catcher. Okay, never mind. Let's go to my permanent base, top floor. Alright, so we wanted one of these to be able to do this, and I thought, no, I needed the void tear is what I needed first. So we need, I'm sorry, the Infernal Tear, which needs the void tear, yes. So I got that, and then that will get me this, and I'm actually going to want to make a second one of these, and I'll show you why here in a second. Since I got a few of these, I'll show you how this Infernal Tear works. Which is another thing to do with items you don't know what to do with. So, Hero's Medallion is what we're trying to make, and there we go. So, the Hero's Medallion, so let me give myself some experience. So let's say you're out and about adventuring, and you want to save your experience because you think you're going to go into a nasty battle. You don't want to come home to put it in the holder or stand on the drain and have it drain. Both of which are great when you're home, but if you're out and about, and I want to say it's the other. Oh, let me have this. You know what? Let me step away from that because it's helping and trying to refill me with 11. Okay, so now I'm out and about adventuring. So here I go. I'm crouching and right-clicking. Do I need to? No, I don't even need to crouch. So now all my experience, I just right-click. Yeah, so I put my experience in here. Okay. So I get, the max is 119 levels plus a little bit. And then it should automatically absorb experience. And if I right click, it should give me... Oh, you know what? I think I maxed it out. Shift right click, right click. Yeah, I think it's all... I think my, this was not helping. Yeah, it's the coin is literally sucking up the experience from this. Okay. So I don't want it to do that, but that's why I've got so many levels, is that, so if I take this back down to 0, I have this set up so that when I walk into my base, it will suck all the levels out. Now right now I have, yeah, it's got 20 levels in it. So now if I move very far away, again, I don't want to interfere with that. So yeah, there we go. I right click and I can give myself experience. And I think if I crouch and right click, it will store it back in there. So this is something very nice to have when you're out and about and think you might be getting into a scary, sketchy situation, or just out of habit, periodically go ahead and store some experience. So, and if I give it to myself, it's actually taking it away from me. This is, and storing it. I think. Yeah, it's just slow. So, yeah, that's what's going on. But again, a nice safe way to do it. Of course, if I die and it drops with my grave, that's another thing. I have to go get it. But at least I don't lose all the experience because it's bundled up, which is nice. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, and let me do this in a nice safe way here. Let me put the backpack on the wall so I don't have that with me. And in fact, let me not have any of this stuff with me. Let me just throw this stuff in, well, an empty one. I'm going to throw everything I've got in here as to not complicate. Let me take this. So this you need to be careful with. So let's sort by item count. So I have 14,000 netherrack. Okay, lots of netherrack. Now I'm going to just for demo purposes, get rid of that. So the way this works, if I do it correctly, so the item that I have the most of is netherrack, clearly. So if I right click, it is in burn mode. And if I shift now, right click, shift right click, see the experience flashing and the netherrack disappearing? It's actually destroying the netherrack and converting it into experience. Which, the way this is going, because I'm standing next to this, is it's going in here. You can watch it go in. So again, if you have items that you don't need, a different way to get rid of them, instead of using the salvaging table, instead of just tossing them in the trash, which, by the way, I have a trash can right there, use this. This is a great item to, instead of voiding out items that you're getting, you can always do this and get experience out of them. So if you're mining, you don't have to worry about all the cobble that you get, or the dirt, or the clay, or whatever it is that you don't really want. You can just use this and convert it into experience, which is a very cool thing, because I just gained 2 levels at this high of a level, so, and I'm still burning through netherrack. So if, again, if you're having space issues or if you kind of overdid it. So I've been working on, I actually don't know if this works with Relic, but we can see. Don't know. Never tried it on a Relic. But this is still set at netherrack. So until it has, and the beauty of it is once you set it, so if I go mining in the nether, as the stuff enters my inventory, which is a way to use the magnet as opposed to using the backpack. So if you have the backpack magnet turned off and are using just the magnet or this coin of fortune, then you can have this going and it will burn up the netherrack as you're accumulating it. Which in the nether, I mean, it's all pretty much netherrack. There's a little bit of soul sand and soul soil, and gravel, but almost everything is netherrack. So you can have, this amazing amount of experience. And if you have this coin as well, then it would go in there. So as I said, I do not know if this works. Whoops, I did not want to do that. Am I not? Yeah, I'm trying to remember how to turn it off. I thought it was just... One second while I figure this out. Okay, I was overthinking it. It's just you shift right. I'm sorry. Let me get more. Let me get more netherrack. So yeah. So when you're looking at it, you right click, and then it says it burns items into experience, and it's done with netherrack. So once it's on, you right click to turn it on, and you right click to turn it off. Just on, off, and it'll take whatever's most. Now, if I put this back in here, let's see if it will take these. Right click, yeah. It's not turning on because this is too rare of an item. It won't take it. I think if we take something like let's try something I've been getting. Let's try sugar. I've been getting a lot of sugar. That won't work, but let's try sugar. So, nope, it's not doing that either. Sugar cane? Nope. Let's wheat. It might just be blocks and not crops. Yeah. It's probably just blocks, which is a great thing for mining, but and it'll actually prevent anything else from happening. So let's pick up another block. Um, yeah, let's do tuft. Let's see if it'll do that one. Nope. Well, there's limits to what it will do, clearly. And let's make sure that I'm actually working it properly. Yes. So let's make sure I can get it off of there to something else. And let's do just regular cobblestone. Huh. Okay, hopefully I haven't broken it. Well, it should... Well, I don't want... Maybe this is confusing it. No, shift right click isn't working either. Weird. Okay. Well, as I said, I hope I haven't broken the thing. It should have worked on cobble. I mean, that's right up there with dirt. Speaking of which, where is my dirt? I shouldn't have that much of it. I only have 4. That's not a lot. How about gravel? Decide tuft. Mossy stone. We should have some gravel. There's gravel. There we go. Now it is set to gravel. Okay. Now let me turn it off. Nope. Let me turn it off. Yeah, so that's how it works. Yeah, the cobblestone is kind of weird that it wouldn't take cobblestone. So you'd have to try it on different things. But the nether rack I find to be helpful. That's where I generally use it. Because I end up with a lot of netherrack, especially when I'm mining with my the MK3, the mining gadget. So there's that. And was there anything else? We did this. We did that. Oh, witches' hats. If you do have a witch spawner and you're getting a lot of witches' hats, you can convert it into redstone, which is another good use for them. And I think... Let me get all this stuff back. I think the other thing we can do really quickly is... If I can remember where I put it. Which I don't remember where I put it. This is me being efficient and moving things around. Nope. Don't remember where I put it. Ah! Of course, the absolute last thing I look at is... yeah, actually, this is not what I wanted. Didn't want that either. Okay, so, really quickly, let's see. We've got... I have not set them up yet. They were supposed to go there. Where are they? Yes, here they are. Okay. The mechanical squeezer and drying basin. Now we've used the drying basin to make rotten flesh into leather, and we can use it, the mechanical squeezer, to squeeze a mineral log and then make it into a block of mineral in the drying basin. But the other thing that this can do, I will fix that later, is actually, let me put this away. I've got a bit of a mess going on here. Okay, let me get these. Alright. Is what we can do is we can actually, if you run, we have a blaze rod, we run it through a crusher. Let me get another blaze rod. Now if I take one blaze rod, I will get 2 blaze powders. Okay? If I run it through a crusher, I get 4. If you run it through let's see, how do I want to do this? Probably, hopefully this way? I think that's, I may have this not at the right level, but yeah, we have power. So if I run one through the squeezer, we'll get 5. So if you want to maximize your blaze powder, that's the way to do it. I have to see if this is going to go. No, it did not. Yeah, I've got to sort these out. But there is that. And I wanted to talk about modular routers. So let me tuck some of this stuff away. What I want to use modular routers for, and modular routers do not take power, is I'm going to put down, do I have enough? Yes, I do. I just want to make sure I have enough room all the way around. I've got my Blaze Bloom goo, and I want to kind of sort of automate this so that I don't need to keep feeding it and then putting things around the edges. So I will need this just to be able to interact with things appropriately. And I will put this here. Okay. So with this, I have to feed it either blaze powder or nether wart. So it doesn't matter which one I feed it, and I can alternate back and forth. In fact, let's break down another one of these. Okay, so I have both, so it doesn't really matter. I just need to feed it something. What I want to do is I want to place some modular routers to be able to place and break the stuff around here. And it doesn't matter what it is. Whatever I feed it, I want it to be able to place and then break. So I need to make some of the... So I've already made the modular routers. I have made some blank modules. And I've made the activator module, and you only need one activator because you need to be able to right-click. Well, you need one to be able to right-click and feed it. you're going to need to have some that are actually going to break the blocks. So let's take that is, so here, let's go. So here's here's modular force field, so ignore this. So here's the stuff for modular routers. So here's a modular router, and it's made with one of these blank modules, some iron bars, and some iron. Relatively easy, and you get 4 of them. So they're easy to make. Iron bars are easy to get once you do a dungeon, and iron, of course, you can get from mining. But I want to make these breaker modules. So I've got 6 sides on the block. I'm going to use 1 to feed the block, so I'm going to need 5 to break. So I need 5 of these. Now the good news is you don't need a diamond pickaxe. You can use any pickaxe at all, and I happen to have some stone ones. It does have to be fully full durability. You can't use a partially broken one, but you can just use stone, which works nicely. I don't know that wood actually works, so let's take a peek here. Yes, wood will even work. It's the 5th one in on the first row is wood. So any pickaxe will work. Obviously, well, even it'll take hammers and that type of thing. But if you have a pickaxe, especially if you've been finding them, again, this is a great way to use up your items that you don't really need. So we've got the activator, we've got the breaker, and what we need is placer modules. So we place ideally we feed the block, the goo, then we place on 5 of the faces whatever it is we want to morph, and then when it's done morphing, we break it. So I'm going to need 5 of these. What am I missing? What did I do? Oh, dirt. Is this not dirt? Oh, this is dirt. Yeah, I have dirt. So it's not terribly expensive. Modular routers are relatively inexpensive, and so this is what we're going to do. And I think I also have, yes, I do. So, I am going to need to pick which side I want to feed. And I think I'm going to put it down here. And that's not facing the right way. Can't use that one. Let's see, where's my pick? There we go. So you want this face facing towards this. So this is why we also have a little bit of dirt. Let's see if I can get that. No. There is, I think, probably can just use this. Hopefully. Where'd it go? Oh, probably went in here. It did. Magnet works every time. not working. I need a different wrench. I think I have a wrench in here. Yep, I have a ferrocore wrench. That will hopefully work. Let's see if I can get this thing turned. There. Okay, and we turn it again, and it's over here. We turn it again, turn it again, and it's back here. Now I want to turn it. Oi. I think this is probably why I aimed it at it, because they're easier to turn that way. There. Yeah. When you get this is the back side and the other side, and all the sides have these little squares. Okay. So if I give it the activator module and I give it some of this, and okay. And why are we not going? Ah, that's why. Okay, so right click. Level. Don't need to be sneaking. Front. Sorry, there is a bit of tweaking that has to happen here. Okay. Okay. I'm hoping I got it. Okay. And why do I think I'm trying to think if I ended up with... Okay. We'll need to figure this out, but the idea is that so we put unless I have it backwards. Nope. Nope, I had it the right way. This would be a placer module. And And then I can put in, say, coal. Well, if I don't do anything there, that'll work. I don't have to actually... There we go. So that's working. Let me do this. Huh. Well, this is working. So this is what I need to do all the way around, is get it to place, and then what I can do is put something either above it or below it, and maybe I will do, or next to it. Let's go next to it. I may change my mind on this, but I flip this around, and then this will be the breaker when... did I switch this to... Oh, this is always... Okay. Maybe I need to go... Always. Ah, there we go. Alright, now it's working. So this needs to break when I need to... Well, okay, so if I do... Let's see here. Let me borrow one of these back. When this is... will not run if the filter matches. Yes, I do not want this to run when it matches that. Okay. Alright, so this is doing what it's supposed to do, which is getting perfect. So, okay, we'll watch this. So this is still fed, and this is feeding it. And this again is got buffered, which we can actually pipe in. But we've got this, and then it's an activator module, and we'll go back in and take a look at that again. But this is leaching into the coal, and this is going to happen really fast, where the coal, when the coal converts, this block behind it will actually break it. We're going to sit here and watch. It'll just take a second. And suspense. Okay, it's fully engulfed. It'll morph and it'll get broken immediately after it morphs. There we go. So if I can pipe into these blocks, then this can continue to happen. And I can actually set it up so that we are utilizing all the faces here, top and bottom, and all the way around. And again, this is the modular router with an activator module which is going to feed it whatever's in here. And this is set up with a blacklist, so whatever we pipe in, whether it's blaze powder or whether it's nether wart, it doesn't matter. It'll actually place it, it'll actually feed it, and then of course we set this to front because that's the direction it's facing. Yeah, and all we needed to do is, we didn't change anything here. Just keep this on blacklist. Then the one to place the blocks, now we're feeding it coal right now, but we could feed it iron, we could feed it gold. We can feed it all three. Is that the placer module is in here to place this block. And again, this is still on a blacklist. You just want to select front, so it's super simple on what the settings are. And then here, this is a breaker. The stuff is getting stored in here because we haven't piped it out. But on the breaker module again, it's we blacklisted this. And the reason we did this, and we'll also need to do a block of iron and a block of gold. The reason being is we don't want it to break until it converts. So you either blacklist the items you don't want it to break, or you whitelist the items you do want it to break. And so because I happen to have these items, and it's easier to blacklist what you don't want it to break, because that's what you're actually feeding it. If you whitelist it, then you'd have to silk touch items off of there to then put them in here on a whitelist, which is a little bit more challenging. Okay, and those are the three blocks. Now you just repeat these two around all the sides, which, you know, a dirt block helps get you that extra space, and then we can do, and then rotate. There we go. And then I can get this out of here. I will borrow some coal from over here, just so we can test this out. So we want to put a placer. And again, you just want front. If you can't turn it around, then obviously you can, you know, and that's probably what I'm going to do when I go to top and bottom, is not worry about the wrench and just pick the face. Leave it on blacklist, and then we're going to put there, and there it goes. And if we check here, we've used a little bit of this, but not too much, and so now it's both of these are going. As this converts, it'll break, so these may be breaking at different times. And then we want to put down this, and I will turn this around just so it looks the same. We'll put in our breaker module, and we will say we want to not do it here. So as long as there's coal in the front, it won't break it. And it can't break this until it completely morphs. So if we watch it, it's doing its thing right now. And the block is right here. Broke. Now, yeah, it helps if I have more in there. So it'll keep going. So it's placing, and it's, yeah. So it looks like it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. We put one here, because this is going to be where we're going to put the coal block. Put down this. I will turn it around. And then we'll feed it some coal. We put in the placer. We say on the front. Yep, and then this will work. And there it goes. And then we're going to blacklist coal. So, yeah, they're all running. And then I will do top and bottom. And let's do that do one of those together, just so we can show how we're not going to move this modular router around. So I have the modular router like this. And so again, oh, wait, I need to go down one level. That would help. Okay, so I need that one space for it to put the block. And then I'm going to put in the placer. And we're going to say, instead of front, we're going to say up. And I'm going to put, not there, put some here. And there it goes. Now it's up. And it really doesn't matter where I put this breaker. It can be anywhere down here, doesn't matter. So I will put it here. And I can roll it around, but let's say I don't and leave it the way it is. I would put a breaker. I would say don't break this. And instead of the front, we're going to do the back, because this is the front, this is the back, where it's aimed at the block. And then I also, yeah. So you can do that without having to flip these around. I find it nice to flip them all around so I know kind of where they're aiming. And front should be the setup for most of them. But again, this one would be challenging to get to pointing up. So there they go. And you can see this is still being fed, and these are doing their things. This is not breaking. I don't know why this is not breaking. Why is this not breaking? Because I did not pick, I picked none. I didn't pick a side, which should have been front. There. And that's a good thing to do, just to check on things, make sure everything is working as intended. And then up I would go on top there and do that. So this is a way to do it. Now, of course, if I add pipes, I can pipe things in and pipe things out. Or I can use, you can use hoppers, I think, also, if you just want to go that route instead of piping in and out. But yeah, I will finish setting this up and show you next time what it looks like. Hope you found this useful, and as you can see, it's doing what it needs to be doing. And yeah, it's very helpful not having to do it manually. So hope you found that useful. If you have enjoyed this episode, please give me a like. It really helps me out. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I read and reply to everything. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. And that way you can get alerted to new content as I release it. I hope you enjoyed. This is Cuberized, and this is my Craftoria Let's Play. Have a good day. This is Cuberized signing off. Take care.